75 aircraft. In service one moment, parked the next. Within 6 hours, Switzerland's national airline, the one that had flown continuously for 71 years, ceased to exist. What made this collapse extraordinary was not a crash, not a scandal at the gate, but something far quieter. A balance sheet so damaged it could not be repaired. CHF 17 billion in debt, 72,000 jobs, gone. But the real story did not begin on that October day. The strategy had a name. They called it the Hunter Strategy. Consolidate, expand, dominate regional markets. McKinsey's consultants promised it would work, one airline after another. Each acquisition looked rational on the spreadsheet. Each one seemed like a piece of a grander vision. None of them worked. In 1995, Swissair bought a 49. It was the flagship acquisition, the proof that the strategy could work. It was a struggling carrier, drowning in its own problems. Losses mounted. The investment that was supposed to anchor the Hunter strategy became a weight around Swissair's neck. Swissair did not stop at Sabena. There were other acquisitions, stakes in other European carriers. Each one promised synergy, each one drained capital. The losses were real, but they were not immediately visible on the surface. Years passed. The airline kept flying. Passengers saw no change. Swissair still looked like Swissair, the clean, reliable Swiss carrier they had always known. But beneath the paint and the logo, the balance sheet was rotting. Assets that were valued on the books were worth far less in reality. Losses were being deferred, restructured, hidden in accounting categories that would not immediately trigger alarm. In 2001, auditors made a decision that would prove fatal. They restated Swissair's accounts. The worthless assets from the acquisition strategy were finally written down. Billions of Swiss francs vanished from the balance sheet in a single restatement. The company's true condition, hidden for years, was suddenly visible. The auditor's restatement did not cause the collapse. It exposed it. But the timing was catastrophic. The market reacted. Confidence evaporated. Suppliers who had extended credit suddenly demanded payment. Banks grew nervous. The airline's liquidity crisis began to accelerate. By late September 2001, Swissair needed emergency funding to survive. The airline could not buy fuel. Fuel suppliers, facing billions in unpaid accounts across the industry after the September 11 attacks, became extremely cautious. They demanded cash in advance. Swissair's parent company, SAirGroup, arranged emergency bank transfers. The money was coming. It should have arrived within days, but the transfer was delayed. Not by hours, by 6 days. Those 6 days were fatal. Without fuel, aircraft could not fly. Without revenue flights, the airline had no cash. The delay did not cause the crisis, but it turned the crisis into a collapse. October 2, 2001 was the final day. The emergency transfer had not arrived. The fuel suppliers would not extend further credit. Swissair could not operate. There was no alternative. The airline announced the grounding. All flights ceased. By the end of the day, the Swiss government had declared the company insolvent. The network that had connected the world to Switzerland for 7 decades was simply switched off. No time to land planes in proper order. No time for careful shutdown, just a sudden, complete cessation of service. The collapse was not a failure of one decision. It was the result of years of decisions that each looked reasonable at the time, but which, in aggregate, destroyed the company. The acquisitions were meant to strengthen Swissair. Instead, they filled the balance sheet with assets that could not generate returns. The auditor restatement was meant to reveal the truth, but it arrived at the moment when the market could not absorb that truth. The bank transfer delay was a small administrative failure in the context of a larger crisis. But small failures matter when there is no margin for error. In June 2007, a Bülach regional court acquitted all 19 accused of all charges related to the collapse. The criminal proceedings ended without a formal finding of negligence or fraud. The court did not conclude that anyone had deliberately misled investors or fabricated accounts. Instead, the collapse was treated as a massive business failure, a strategy that did not work, executed by people who made bad decisions, but who were not found to have broken the law. The liquidator would spend years working through the wreckage, presenting final accounts to creditors. But there was no single investigation report that explained what had gone wrong. no official narrative that captured the full sequence of events. The Swissair collapse remains one of the most complete disappearances of a major airline in modern history. 71 years of reputation dissolved in a single day because the balance sheet finally caught up with the strategy. It was a reminder that a company's prestige and a company's assets are not the same thing. And it was a warning. When acquisition strategies are not grounded in realistic returns, when assets are deferred or restated rather than managed, when a 6-day delay becomes the difference between survival and bankruptcy, the margin between success and collapse is thinner than anyone imagined.